Andoni Iraola odds to become next Man United manager slashed after shock Bournemouth announcement. Man United will be monitoring Andoni Iraola closely, with yet another highly respected coach available on a free this summer, as the club continue to find a permanent replacement for Ruben Amorim. The next Manchester United manager market has taken a big turn today after the surprising announcement that Andoni Iraola will be leaving Bournemouth at the end of the season. The Spaniard has long been linked with an exit from the Vitality Stadium, with United long thought to be one of the potential destinations for the former Rayo Vallecano manager. Since the announcement, Iraola has seen his odds halved to become the next United boss and become the permanent successor to Ruben Amorim, who was dismissed from the role back in January. Online bookies Betfred have seen his price move from 16/1 to now just 8/1, making him the second favourite to take over the job in the summer, behind favourite Michael Carrick, who currently trades at 4/6. The Man United board will continue to take their time in selecting their new manager, especially as Carrick has done a solid job since taking over on an interim basis. Despite last night's surprise defeat to Leeds United, Carrick has guided the Red Devils back into the Champions League spots and 7 points ahead of Chelsea, who occupy the Europa League spot. Betfred's Robert Ford said, Andoni Iraola's odds to be the manager of Manchester United next season have been slashed into 8/1 from 16s this afternoon, as it was announced that he will leave Bournemouth at the end of the season. Iraola comes into second in the betting behind odds-on favourite Michael Carrick, whilst leapfrogging the likes of Julian Nagelsmann and /1, Luis Enrique 12/1, Oliver Glasner 12/1, and Mauricio Pochettino 12/1 in the odds. Iraola, however, has a long list of admirers after what he has done at Bournemouth, despite losing key figures in his matchday squad recently. Since the summer, the Cherries have lost Dango Ouattara, Milos Kerkez, Dean Hodgson and Ilya Zabarny before Antoine Semenyo made the big money move to Manchester City in January. Yet the club find themselves just 3 points from a place in Europe, having equalled their record best finish, the Premier League of 9th place last season. They have 6 fixtures to turn that around, as they currently occupy 11th place, meaning a place for Europe up for grabs, with around 8 clubs all looking to secure a ticket for a continental competition. The Cherries are set to face Newcastle, Leeds, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Man City and Nottingham Forest in the final stretch to secure a spot in Europe, which would be a superb achievement and the perfect way for Iraola to display another achievement on his football CV before a potential big summer move. Andoni Iraola has become the first domino to fall in the managerial season, but his arrival at Man United will only have one outcome. The winds have changed around Michael Carrick at Man United, unexpectedly so, because nuance is lost when discussing things about this club. The 2-1 loss to Leeds, at Old Trafford no less, is now followed by news of Andoni Iraola leaving Bournemouth at the end of the season. It has led to raging rumours about how he could be of interest to Man United, but that move will only end one way, in despair, because of 3 reasons. Andoni Iraola has a Michael Carrick-like limitation. Generally, being compared to Carrick is not a death sentence for a prospective Man United manager, but Iraola has Carrick's limitation. Both managers don't seem to have a plan B when planner doesn't work. The difference is that their planner is different. While Carrick likes a mid-block, transition, and combination play strategy, Iraola is all about high intensity, forcing turnovers, and outworking the opposition. The problem with Iraola's style is that it is not conducive to having the ball, because if you have the ball, then you can't force turnovers. It's why Bournemouth play well in games when they are the underdogs, but often struggle against teams they are expected to beat. Does that remind you of anyone? It's exactly the question Carrick is facing. Iraola can walk into the Bournemouth dressing room and immediately command respect, but managing Man United is a different beast. The Spaniard has been a good tactician, but there are doubts over his ability to transition that style from an underdog like Bournemouth to a behemoth like manunited. There are shades of what Thomas Frank realised when he walked into Tottenham and left the underdog tag behind at Brentford. You need to have a certain charisma and edge to manage manunited, because it's as much an ambassadorial role as it is a tactical one. It's impossible to say this with certainty, but Iraola could easily become overwhelmed by the size of the job and the responsibilities it entails within a month of starting. Iraola's planner can bring about some thrilling, high-octane football, but the flip side is that it demands a lot from the players. United will effectively be going back to the Ruben Amorim style of wanting to physically overwhelm the opponent by outworking them. That can work in smaller leagues where you're the favourite against most teams sporting in Portugal, or when you're playing just one game every week Bournemouth. However, when neither of those things is true, that style of football can easily see the players break down under the demands. Don't be surprised to see a glut of injuries upon Iraola's arrival that could derail the season before it begins, especially because he'll go from managing Bournemouth to managing in the Champions League. United can't buy a whole new depth in the squad in one window, and Iraola might not last long enough to oversee another transition for a failed one under Amorim.